Now this is a tasty matchup from round 7 of Vaikansay Tata Steel Masters. Why? Because Vidit Gujarati has qualified for the Candidates 2024 and so has Alireza Firouzja in some controversial circumstances. But he's there. So this is a clash of future candidate players, and what a game this was. Double brilliancies to come, epic king marches, it's got everything. So e4 played by Vidit, and Alireza goes c5, fighting Sicilian on the board, and now after these moves of the opening Sicilian it gets better because a6 is played, the knight off. Alireza already setting up the 1-2, he wants to knock Vidit out here. So what does Vidit do? H3 played, the Adams attack, not named after this Adams or this Adams, but this Adams. Vidit wants to weave his web. So we get knight c6 from Alireza, bishop e3 played, aggressive attacking idea, and now Alireza should go pawn e6 here. The Scheveningen pawn structure. He's in Vaikansay, the Netherlands. He should be honouring that place by playing this. Alireza really should have been recognising that is the move to play when you're in the Netherlands. But he ploughs forward with pawn e5, drives back this knight to b3, and then goes bishop e6 here. He wants to attack, as we're gonna see. Now queen f3 was played. Weird looking move to my eyes. You so often see queen d2. What's this one all about? Well, now if d5, then you can take, bishop recaptures his best, you hit that queen, but it can cha-cha slide to the right. Hit e5 and g7, it's a nice pressure for white here. And it was playable for black as well. Now that option wasn't there if the queen's on d2. But Alireza doesn't go d5, still playable as mentioned, or rook c8. He goes knight b4, risking it for a biscuit, as we're gonna see, because castle's queenside came on the board. Rook c8, sometimes you see some smasheroo on c3, can get dangerous. Always play king b1, queen c7, Alireza brings the lady into the attack, a3 looks to kick back the knight, and now if you retreat here, white is doing great. Knight d5 on the way, g4, g5, huge attack, and your own attack has been slowed down. So what does Alireza do? You guessed it, he crashes through on c2, the first brilliancy.
That is a brilliant move.
It's amazing, and this is why people talk about Alireza Firouzja in such high regard. Not many not many players in history have been capable of this, just giving up a piece and not caring, just continuing to kind of build up.
Because after king recaptures, this is where he follows up with a back-to-back brilliancy of queen to c6. Now there's a saying on the English chess scene, if you get 2 pawns and a check for a piece, well, you're doing all right. You know, just a kind of rough measure, right? Not exactly saying it. What's Alireza got here? 1 pawn and not even a check. How is he not terribly worse? Well, look at the bar. White's only a tiny bit better, because huge pressure on the centre, and queen a4, massive threat. This rook would still be pinning the knight, and once the queen lands here, in combination with the bishop, the knight drops and the king can't step away, or the knight drops. How do you deal with it all? Well, there's only one move, and it's knight to d2. Vidit finds it, of course, excellent play, covers the pawn some more, and now the king can step away from the attack. And what move should Alireza play here? Have a look for it, see if you can find it. There's only one move to rule them all here. One move to find them. One move to bring the brawl and in the darkness bind white. If you find it, shout it out in the black tongue of Mordor, even if you're laid next to your spouse. It's night time, it's got to be done. Well done if you found pawn to d5, because Alireza did not. He invested a huge amount of time and missed this move. You just have to do it. Throw more fuel on the fire here. Knight recaptures. And look at all the ideas you've got. The bishop's now been opened here, lasering down. You want to smash through. The knight's in the fight. These ones are eyeing the knight as well. You know, there's a big attack. It's still roughly level. But Alireza goes queen a4 check. Look at his clock time. Spends ages on the wrong decision here. But don't go anywhere because Alireza can mix up anything, okay? So it's not over. Now, the check is just landed. If you go king b1, we talked about always play it, but don't play it here because the rook smashes through, exchange sack, pawn recaptures, then d5 comes, and there's actually a massive attack for black. So you don't want the king on b1. If you go b3, also problems because then the a3 pawn is loose. The knight becomes loose. So what does Vidit do? He closes his eyes, picks up his monarch, pushes it forward into the center of the board. That is bold and brave, but it's the best move. He's moving towards the Shadowlands of Mordor, Alireza's dark forces. But how can Alireza intensify the pressure? Well, guess what? He has a cave troll, smashes through on c3, pawn recaptures, and now d5. Finally finds the concept. Here come the ring wraiths. You'll have to tell me if I kill this Lord of the Rings metaphor at some point. And he is trying to kill Vidit. But what does Vidit do? Not capture. He calmly retreats this king, looking to scurry back to Gondor, and after captures, queen g3, pressuring the center, knight d7, stumbling back, not what you want to do when you're trying to attack. Well, guess what? King e1, and we have the return of the king. Back to the safety of Gondor here. Wow, Vidit has survived the worst of it. What can Alireza conjure up now? Well, he starts with f5, threatening f4, but guess what? Vidit ignores and goes bishop e2. Great move. Do your worst. Now, I'm not going to show the variation because it comes soon. First g6, pawn h4. Look at Alireza's clock, down to 2 minutes, and he still has 19 moves to make. I mean, you do the maths on that. What is that? I don't know, 6-7 seconds a move or something stupid. He does get a bit of time back per move, but he's got nothing left. Bishop e7, bishop g5, and now f4 comes. Going after the queen, then the bishop could be loose. So now we see takes on f4. Pawn recaptures, queen takes. Why would Vidit give a piece for 2 pawns? Well, you've got rid of the pressure and you're still in exchange ahead. Now here Alireza goes rook f8, going after the queen. His best was bishop d5. Probably he finds it with more time on the clock. Covers the pawn. However, his own king then comes under fire. h5 on the way. Maybe queen c7 or queen h6. It's dangerous. So he starts with rook f8. That cannon blasts the queen out the way, but the pawn drops and these ones now come off the board. Knight recaptures. Sure, Alireza wins this pawn. He's got an outside passer, but white in the driving seat now with h5, taking a tin opener to that black king side. We get bishop f5, hits the knight. You can go knight d6 check, going after this one. If bishop takes, rook takes, but instead Vidit goes for this move, also a great one. We see knight e5, centralizing. Alireza takes, bishop recaptures, and bishop h5. Very thematic. Get rid of that dangerous bishop pair. Knight c6, maneuvering back, hits the rook. It moves to d5. Excuse me. Looks impossible, but this can't be taken. There is a pin here. So instead, king e7 breaks the pin. The knight's now under fire. So bishop takes, pawn takes, check. Why not rook f7? Well, then you can take, king takes, and rook d7. You land a nasty little kebab skewer styly thing at the end of the line. So instead, king e6, rook d7 played, going after this pawn, but not even rushing to go with this. You know, it's all about domination and squeeze and keeping Alireza under lock and key. Horrible moves to face in time pressure. b5 played. Now pawn f3 solidifies that bastion in the center. We get rook c8, rook b7, more just squeezing. Here Vidit going to work like a surgeon. b4 on the board, captures, bishop takes check, king e2, a5 solidifies that sniper, and after rook hg7 going after the g pawn, now Alireza covers with the knight, activating. Why not f4 to kick the defender? Well, it comes in a minute. First we get king e3, great activation. Rook c6, now f4 on the board, knight g4 check, king d4, Vidit preparing to sacrifice his king, a la when he played Hikaru. Check out this clip.
The rule of the square.
Wait for it. Yeah.
But what was that about actually?
But he never gets chance to land it, because in this position Alireza resigns the game. He could see the king sacrifice was on the way, the rook and king would be fought. That's game over. And by the way, for anyone newer to chess, that is a joke. You cannot put the kings next to each other. No, the reason Alireza resigned, well, the pawn's about to drop, right? So what do? Cover it like this, let's say, but then check from b5. And black never had any checks before. This knight does an amazing job covering all the squares. So now the king can either step backwards, say here, and you get mated. That's just fantastic. Or you can step up, take a pawn, but now check, and the king's got nowhere to go. Look how amazing this knight is, and the pawn covering squares, and this king. So what do? You have to start giving up pieces. This is of course dead lost. Can't even win this pawn. The rook slides over, and it's going to be game over. So we'll pause it there. Let's go back to the final position. Truly great game by Vidit, but Alireza truly handed it to him by giving the attack, but without the follow-up. I hope you enjoyed. Smash subscribe, and if you want to see an incredible Magnus Carlsen game, check out the video on screen. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon.